Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hot? Hot in here? Very hot. Okay, I'll try not to sweat it up too much. Key takeaways from the keynote this morning. Goalies go. Sellers where the lowest price is the law. And getting jiggy with it. First, I would like to shout out my team, SSPPD, Yuna, Shagithia, Bethany, Swinzel. They almost wrote a dissertation for you in terms of this presentation. I'm not going to take the 15 minutes Mikhail take, but I will try to get this done in 10 minutes, okay? And give Jesse Lee an opportunity to get up here. Awesome. So just wanted to, again, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Wanted to give you a little bit of an update on how the implementation is going for Toronto. Talk about enrollment, talk about expansion, talk about the workforce and some very scary revelations there. Childcare fee subsidy, a little bit on that because Mikhail did a really good job in terms of going over that. Some of our space allocation stuff and ongoing access consideration, future opportunities. If you have hard contract questions about money, we have Sharon Lamb in the room, one of our directors, contract finance. You could ask her. Taking you back to December 2022, 935 centers enrolling into Canada-wide. That's about 88% of our group-operated centers. 22% of 22 home child care, which is about 90% of that sector. As we move into 2023, really continue with some enrollment activity. We did have a couple people drop out from last year, about 7 operators. We are looking to implement, once it becomes official, the Access and Inclusion Plan, which we are waiting for. But we know definitely that there will be more of a focus on communities that are experiencing inequity, including low-income families, children with extra support needs, Indigenous families, Black families, families who need more flexible models of care. I just wanted to take people briefly to our Toronto Child and Family Inequity Score. This is a composite score. We have low income, parental unemployment, low parental education, no knowledge of official languages, English and French, core housing need. Just wanted to point out that we've done some work to quadrant some of our findings in terms of inequity. So very high, you can see in the dark gray, high in the blue, low in the kind of lighter blue, and very low in the very light gray. This map shows a distribution of the enrollment into Canada-wide. I have some good news here, maybe. Wanted to share that we didn't see high opt-out in areas that actually need the program. So if there was opt-out in high needs areas, it was very low. It was about 6 to 7%. On the other hand, in fact, in areas that are more affluent, we did see a higher opt-out rate of about 14 to 17%. And just to be really clear in terms of opt-out, it was majority commercial operators, so about 72, and about 48 not-for-profits. In terms of our childcare workforce update, just wanted to share a couple things with you. As you heard this morning, very clearly articulated, everybody's seeing workforce shortages. We understand that this is not just in our sector, but in a variety of different sectors, but nonetheless being felt quite significantly here. We did have a workforce survey that we ran from end of December 2021 to March 2022, both operators and staff under different auspices. Highly feminized, highly racialized group of folks reporting into that survey. As we know, under Canada-wide, we did see a wage floor increase to $18 an hour. That brought about 8 ECEs up to the wage floor in Toronto. We've had a plan to really work to increase wages since we developed our growth plan. and I'll talk a little bit about that later. Just in terms of some of the findings from the survey, can anybody tell me what was the most significant challenge? Thank you. 70% of our respondents definitely mentioned that as one of the biggest challenges in terms of being in the sector. That was followed by about 60% of respondents talking about burnout and stress and major challenges in the workplace. We also came across a pretty interesting statistic. Around 52% of respondents reporting experiencing discrimination from families, colleagues, and employers. So much work to do on compensation and benefits, a lot of work to do on equity and cultural responsiveness and creating safe work environments. I think I'll leave it there for that slide just because we're a little bit short on time. When it comes to fee subsidy, what we're finding is that $10 a day is great, wonderful, but we still have 40% of families in the fee subsidy system that are paying less than $1 a day. We also have 72% of families that are paying less than $10 a day. So we know that there's more work that needs to be done, and Michaela, you did a great job of just talking about fee subsidy as being a continuous source so that families are able to access childcare. Again, I have a dissertation, so I'm just making sure I'm not leaving out any key points because my team is grilling me from the side. Just in terms of expansion for equity, like I was saying before, in 2017, City of Toronto did come up with the Toronto Child Care Growth Strategy. We're really focusing on the 0 to 4 because we thought that would make more sense as an age group to really focus on in terms of expansion. Our goal is to get to about 30,000 spaces by 2026. I believe we're sitting at about 5,000 spaces, and we're really looking under this agreement to expand higher for more families and anticipate that we'll be able to support more families who actually need it in the system. Sorry, and I did want to just go back to fee subsidy and the two-tier system that we're creating and the need for families who are already vulnerable to have to deal with providing information, giving information that other families are not being required to provide. Also the fact that some families who are probably more affluent are using this program potentially as drop-in rather than seeing it as a critical resource for livelihood. We have a lot of work to do at Children's Services here at the City of Toronto. We are really working to make sure that we equitize our system. We've done a lot of professional learning work and professional development work with the sector, particularly around Indigenous worldviews, confronting anti-Black racism, to LGBTQ+ inclusion, mental health and well-being. Maybe some of you have participated in some of our professional learning opportunities. Before the hammer drops, we're trying to get ahead of developing our service plan, which is basically a guidance document that we'll have for the next 4 years. We hear that the province is to announce that this document is to come in and to be presented soon enough. So we're working to really do a consultation work to really develop a better understanding now that we have Canada-wide what the system needs to look like. We do have to take some time to re-envision the system to make sure that we deal with these issues of subsidy, deal with these issues of equity, ensuring that families who actually need the service are able to access it in a meaningful way. Prior to Armageddon, aka COVID, can I say we're in the post-COVID era? I don't know if that's tolerable language. But we did do a lot of work, to do some consultation to get ahead on our service plan. And we realized that there were a number of things that people were still talking about And we want to make sure that we're dealing with things such as service navigation, which is really important. Get a subsidy, but still need to look for a space. Understanding where we can grow our child care centers and really build into our capital plan for the city to make sure we're addressing some of the deserts that we have there. And also trying to be more communicative with the public about where they can get access to child care. We also have the AQI, which is our quality rating for families. We're trying to invite more of our operators into this so that they can become aware of this rating system, and families can feel confident about where their children are going to attend child care. I'm going to leave it there because we need Jesse Lee to come up. But I'm around for questions, and I'm really looking forward to carrying forward this conversation.